What's going on, guys? Temperistic here, and I'm going to be doing another rant today. And of course, it's going to be on Halo 5. So let's see what we've got to talk about here. We've got to talk about sprint, clamber, stabilizer, ground pound, slide, thruster, smart scope, shoulder charge, bloom, weapons, gameplay, ranks, truth, empire, Eden, Orion, Pegasus, Y33 shooter remake Halo 5 and push it back. Stick to the core gameplay from Halo 1 through 3. Listen to the community and fix Master Chief Collection. So let's get it started. Let's start on the armor abilities. And you know what, 3 you can say Spartan abilities, but no, they're not Spartan abilities. You can just call them whatever you want. They are armor abilities, okay? So let's talk about what you said. You said before we started playing the beta, about months before it even came out. I think you said this before even MCC came out, that the Halo 5 beta, or Halo 5 in general, when you're talking about Spartan abilities, you said it's on the line of dual wielding or jacking vehicles. Bungie went from Halo 1 to Halo 2, and in Halo 2 they implemented some cool features, dual wielding, which was the sickest thing ever. They implemented hijacking vehicles, banshees, warthogs, tanks, you name it. Whatever vehicle you can drive in, you can also hijack, which I think is freaking ridiculously awesome. But nope, you just kind of lied to us, 3 and yeah, it's basically like Halo Reach and Halo 4, and it's armor abilities. You can call it Spartan abilities, but no, it's armor abilities. So let's talk about sprint. Now, the horse has already been beaten, so let's beat it a little bit more just because I feel like it. Sprint has no place in Halo. I think we've already established this. Sprint, you can do whatever you want. You can make it so whenever we get shot, we can't sprint, or you can make it where when we're sprinting, our shields aren't going to recharge. But you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I've played a good amount. I played enough Halo 5 beta to know that it is not going to work. It is not going to work in an arena shooter. And why hasn't, Counter-Strike, why haven't they implemented sprint? The game came out in, I'm probably wrong on this, I'll probably have to Google it, 1999, I want to say, Counter-Strike came out. And then they came out with Global Offensive, and I haven't played the game. I haven't played the game at all, so I'm not going to, bullshit and say that I know anything about Counter-Strike. I've watched tons and tons of Twitch streams playing Counter-Strike, but from what I see, Counter-Strike looks like a pretty good game to me. I play it over Call of Duty. Of course, with the graphics and everything, the gameplay, I'm probably not like a huge fan of it, but just from looking at it, I'd rather play it than Call of Duty, there's no sprint in it. There's nothing crazy. It seems pretty balanced to me. There kind of are loadouts with you buying weapons and stuff, but other than that, I think it's a fantastic game, And they haven't added sprint. They haven't needed to add anything into it because it's not broken. If they weren't making money off of the game, then yes, they probably would change it up if they made another Counter-Strike game. But Halo 1 made Bungie and Microsoft. All right, so I'm going to talk to Microsoft now because 3 you weren't really there with Halo 1, 2, and 3. So Microsoft, Bungie made you millions upon millions of dollars with Halo 1. Without Halo 1, Xbox wouldn't be around right now. Fact. That's just a fact. Like, do you remember putting out the Xbox One and you remember that Halo 1 was the game shipped with the most popular game? It was something new, something never done before. So, fact. Without Halo, there would be no Xbox, all right? And then Halo 2 came out, made you more money than Halo 1. You had news stations talking about Halo 2 coming out on the original Xbox. You could go into any GameStop, any Target, or whatever, and you'd have lines coming out the doors just waiting for this game to come out. In Times Square, you would have it on the billboards, you would have it on the television screens in Times Square that Halo 2 commercials there, Halo 2 commercial there. It was crazy, right? And you had millions upon millions of dollars coming your way. And then you had Halo 3 come out, which had equipment. People weren't so keen on it. I'll talk about that in a second. But Halo 3 came out. It made you even more money than Halo 2. I mean, Halo 1 and then Halo 2 and then Halo 3. It just keeps going up and up and up. You're like living the dream right now. You and Bungie just living the dream right now, and the gamers are living the dream too. Okay, so talking about equipment, I think equipment isn't really a big deal just because in my eyes it seems more as a power-up or a power weapon. Of course, there are some of them that I think wouldn't really work in competitive play, like Bubble Shield. I don't think would really work, but Other than the bubble shoot and regeneration, both of those equipment I think wouldn't work. But I think power drain was really cool. It could kill somebody if it blew up and somebody was one shot around it when it exploded. I think that was a power weapon in my eyes. I really liked that. I really liked flare. Flare was interesting. But it could have it could have given somebody a seizure, so I don't think that would have been right in the game. It was blinding. It could have given somebody a seizure or a stroke. And then you had radar jammer, which wouldn't really make any sense to have in competitive play because motion sensors turned off. And then you had a trip mine, which I'm not too sure. I think it takes a little bit of luck unless you have somebody coming right at you and you could throw that at them. So I think trip mine is something else that could be taken out. But power drain would have been power drain is my favorite because I think it takes a little bit of skill to actually aim where you're going to throw that thing. So power drain, flare, no. What else did you have? You had Gravelift, which I think so overall Gravelift like kind of broke where you were going to go and stuff. So overall I think power drain is the only one that I think would have been put in, and I liked it. So that's my opinion on equipment. So equipment wasn't a big deal. They took it out right away for competitive play. And then you had Halo Reach come out. Now, I do not crucify Bungie for Halo Reach just because they already knew that they were going to be parting away from Microsoft and going to Activision or whatever, So they're just like, all right, fuck it, let's just, make a game, right? So they're like, all right, well, let's make Halo Reach. And I don't blame them for putting Sprint, Armor Lock, Jetpack in, and all this other stuff, Bloom. I don't blame them because it's their last game. They know no matter what happens with this game, they're fired. They're parting with Microsoft. They're just like, all right, so let's see what happens if we add some new things that we've thought up in the past, right? If they weren't gonna get fired or if they weren't gonna get taken away from Microsoft, they wouldn't have made Halo Reach the way it was. That is just a fact. So with that being said, I don't really blame Bungie for that. I think I probably would have maybe done the same thing. I don't know. Tried some new things out and see what the fans thought of. But yeah, we didn't like it. So 343 came along, and they're like, oh, they should have been like this. Okay, so nobody likes Sprint. Nobody likes any of these armor builds. Let's take all that shit out. We will never make a Halo game with that shit in it unless the people say so. But that's not what they did. That's not what they did. What they did was, yeah, I think that if we just make it, 85% bloom, then that'll really help. No, not really. It didn't really help too much there, guys. But they did remove Sprint and Bloom from Halo Reach for competitive play, which gets me thinking, why did they put it back into competitive play in Halo 4? I mean, they did us a favor, and they people were like, oh my god, 343, let's go. They took out Sprint and Bloom. It was a little late for competitive play, but, it made them look pretty good. Taking that out. And then Halo 4 came around, they added all this stuff back in, they never took it out, and that's when they fucked up and all this stuff, and then Halo MCC, bro, okay, blah, blah, blah. But basically, Sprint doesn't belong in arena shooters, it doesn't belong, it belongs in Call of Duty because it's been there since day one, and it's just, the core gameplay in Call of Duty kind of needs Sprint, I just feel that way. It works there. It works in Titanfall. It works in Battlefield. Like, I don't know. It just, the way the games are made, the way the games look, the core gameplay, Sprint is kind of needed for that game, But Halo, no. Halo is completely different. It has a shielding system. It has so many different elements that come into play that Sprint has no place in Halo. You can't argue that it does. Take it out, or your game is going to just destroy itself, all right? So we're done with Sprint. We know it doesn't belong there. If you don't take it out, you're going to have problems with money-wise, population-wise. Your game is not going to succeed. I'm telling you this right now. You don't want to listen to me, fine, but you know what? I hate being right. I was right about Halo 4. I was right about MCC, and I'm right about Halo 5. So, all right, now let's talk about Clamber. Clamber is a thing that they stole from... here's another thing, okay? If you're going to add Spartan abilities or armor abilities, can you be unique? I just want you to be unique, okay? Sprint is not unique. You stole that from Call of Duty. You stole Clamber from Call of Duty. Stabilizer is not unique. I believe it is in Dead Space. I want to say it's in Dead Space or another couple of games. Ground Pound Ground pound is a little unique. I give you credit on the idea of it. I can't really remember a game that has ground pound like that, um, except like Donkey Kong games or Super Smash Bros. But you're doing it in a different way, you know. Slide, you stole that from Destiny, um, and Call of Duty. Thruster. Thruster, you know, you came out with it in Halo 4. You know, it's whatever, you know. And then we got your smart scope, shoulder charge. Shoulder charge, you took that from Destiny. Bloom, Bloom, you took from Shadowrun. So okay, so let's talk about clamber. Okay, clamber completely takes out the skill when you're making a jump. Now let's talk about midship. One of my favorite jumps to do was midship. You can do it in Halo 3's Heretic as well. I love this jump, okay? And it was one that took a lot of skill to do. And I kind of sucked at it. Sometimes I pulled it off, and when I did, I felt amazing, okay? So what you do is, let's say you spawn top blue or top red. Alright, so Halo 2 and Halo 3, very similar, okay? There's a little nudge on the front side of the bases, okay? And you can jump on that little nudge, and some people do it. They jump on the box in front of the basement door, and then they jump up to the fin, and then they jump up to the top red or top blue base, you know, if they were juggling the flag or whatever. But another way you can do it is, up the start of the game, you wait for your opposing team to go pink or go car, so they're not really expecting you to do this. So you jump on the little nudge there, and then, you know, the spine, there's a spine that you can jump onto if you're top mid or something to kind of hide from the enemy or kind of get the jump on them, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like really starts from the bottom and then it goes up. Okay, so you can jump on that after you do this, but it's very difficult to do. And then once you do that, you can jump from there to top mid. Took a lot of skill to do this. Now, you could just jump from top red or top blue to top mid with clamber and sprint. Like, holy shit, how much skill does that take? Not really much. You jump, okay, so you start top red or top blue. You grab your BR that spawns right there in a little circle on top red or top blue on truth, right? And then there's two different huts, you know, one with a DMR and one that, you know, can jump from top mid. That's how you do it. You just jump up there, clamber, and then you jump top mid. And you don't even have to clamber. You just sprint, jump, and thrust, and you're there. It takes little skill. It really takes little skill, you know. Also, you can go from bottom mid to top mid with clamber. That's retarded. I'm not sure 3v3 if you've gone on YouTube and you've checked out some jumping montages, but a lot of people have gotten credit in all the past Halo games with jumping. It takes a lot of skill to jump, to come up with these jumps, to do this stuff. Something I like that, I don't know if you did this on purpose or you did this by accident in Halo 4, but there's a spring jump that you could do, and how you did it was you jump, crouch, and right as you hit the ground, you release that and you jump again, and it springs you twice as high as you would if you normally jump. And that invented some new ways to get to places. Like, for example, on Haven, there's this little jump not too many people knew about, but you jump on the sidebar of bottom of the hawk, and you get up on the tip top, and you jump, and you spring jump up there. You can go from bottom hawk to top hawk like that. And another thing on simplex, you know, if you go bottom mid, you jump on the little one of the fins. You could do the spring jump there to go top mid and grab the overshield on simplex from Halo 4 that Big Papa Slot made. And it just takes the skill jumping out, and you really need to take clamber out. It's not something that takes skill, and I know I watched the sprint. I've watched the 2 episodes that you've come out so far with sprint, and I know why you guys added clamber. Somebody said, "Oh, you know, if you know when you're jumping and you just miss the jump by the tip of your toe, what if we make it so people can get that jump just by clambering?" You like, really, dude? Really? No. If you miss the jump, you miss the jump and you choke. Takes skill to make jumps. Not anymore. Okay, stabilizer. This is gonna be a long video. Stabilizer. A lot of people hate it. I don't really use it. I don't really play against people that use it. There's only 3 abilities that I find myself using and find myself having to play against. That's sprint, clamber, and thruster pack. Any of the other ones, I don't really find myself getting killed with or having to deal with. So, stabilizer, you know, a lot of people don't like it because all you have to do is how do you do it? You press A. No. Okay, so you have to be smart scoped in. You have to jump, and then you have to hold down A to stabilize, and then you can just like snipe somebody or something, and it's just really stupid. And just take it out. Just take it out. Okay. Nobody's really using it. Just take it out. Ground pound. Okay. Ground pound. All right. First of all, you chose a really shitty button to pick that on for people that are using bumper jumper like me. Bumper jumper is a very popular button layout, my friends. Very popular. Okay? Gandhi hopping is very popular. Okay? I try not to Gandhi hop anymore, but sometimes I accidentally crouch while I'm in a fight. Okay? So I'm BRing somebody, and I'm trying to break out the habit because I used to Gandhi hop every 1v1 I got into. I used to Gandhi hop like a freaking maniac, and I'm trying to still break that habit, but it's still kind of hard. So sometimes I accidentally press the crouch button as I'm 1v1ing people, right? Well, when that happens, my guy goes into the animation of ground pounding, and that's another thing I want to talk about with ground pound. Why you have to be a certain height at a certain altitude to do the ground pound. You'll know when you'll be able to do the ground pound because you'll have that white circle instead of the red one. Now, if you're not able to do the ground pound, why is your guy even going into the animation of ground pounding, Because you're not going to do it because the red circle will be there instead of the white one. So why is he even going into the animation if he would not even be able to do the ground pound at all because he's not at the correct altitude to do so? And that makes me get shit on by people that shouldn't even win the 1v1 because I only need to shoot him one more time in the head, but oh my god, I accidentally press the ground pound and he goes into the animation and then he just kills me because I go into the animation. A lot of people crouch when they jump in the air when they're in a 1v1 battle. Sometimes they do it on purpose, sometimes they do it on accident, to get an edge on their opponent in the 1v1 battle. It's not good. Put it on, make it toggleable, take it out of the game, or just put it on a different button like select. I don't know. Well, you need that for scoreboard. I don't know what button you'd put it on, but pick one. Just do something. I don't care about ground pound. I don't use it. I am not too mad that it's in the game. Surprisingly, I think it's very unique, and I like unique stuff. So I don't think that you need to take it out of the game. Really, I don't really care. I don't really care. But just make it so I'm not going to lose 1v1 battles, okay? And you could be like, well, why don't you just don't press the crouch button? If you were a competitive player, you wouldn't be saying that to me. So please just do that, all right? Okay, so slide, again, don't really use it. Don't really see other people use it. Here's the thing. When you take out sprint, slide it automatically gets taken out as well. So we're not even going to talk about slide because slide's going to be gone, when you take out sprint. And you should take out sprint. I know you're not going to take out sprint, but you know what? Whatever. Thruster. Thruster with sprint combo is overpowered. I'm not going to say that... Thruster, it doesn't really belong in the game either because it's the same thing with sprint. 1v1ing somebody, and then he thrusts, and he does an unnatural strafe, and, he might win the 1v1 battle because of that. You're taking the skill out of strafing because people are going to be like, oh my god, we have a bigger strafe now. Let's just thruster pack instead of strafing. And the interval between each thruster is about, 3 seconds, something like that? It should be longer. It should be longer, okay? So thruster, take it out of the game, please. Smart scope, take it out. Let us just regular scope in. Smart scoping is not smart. That's the funny thing. It's not smart to smart scope. Okay? And the reason is because it just looks stupid, it looks cartoonish, it looks clunky. Just let us have the regular scope. I don't understand why we can't just have the regular scope. First of all, the assault rifle shouldn't even have a scope. Okay? It's a close range weapon. It's close range. I'm going to say it again. Close range. It's not going to be mid range. It's not going to be long range. Okay? It's only close range. And that's how it should be, and that's how it's always been since Halo 1 came out with it back in 2001. So yeah, just please take out smart scope. Let us just normally scope in. You're complicating things that shouldn't even complicate. It's a regular scope. Let us regularly scope in. Okay? Shoulder charge. I see people use this a little more frequently. I don't like it. You took it from Destiny, but again, you're taking out Sprint, so shoulder charge, we're not even going to talk about it, right? Bloom. Bloom isn't that big of a deal, but I'm a nitpicker, so I'm going to nitpick things. I will be bitching at you guys to take out Bloom until you guys actually take it out. It was ridiculous in Halo Reach. In Halo 4, you had it on, the DMR, you had it on the pistol, you had it on some other weapons. Same thing with Halo 5 Beta. You have it on the Solar, you have it on the DMR, you have it on some weapons, alright? Take it out, please. Just take it out. It's not as bad as it once was, but still, it adds randomness. It doesn't look good. Just take it out. Just take Bloom out, please. There's no point to have it. Just please. Talking about the weapons, I don't really have anything bad to say about the weapons. People are bitching about the Hydra and stuff, but we need new weapons. Yeah, you could come out with something else. You like the grenade launcher, but I actually haven't even used the Hydra. I've seen people use it. I've seen Campy use it. That video was nuts. I think it's an interesting weapon. I think we need to play around with it a little bit more before we make an opinion on whether or not it belongs there or not. I like the Hydra. I think it looks cool. I don't really have a problem with it. Maybe I'm gonna say that there's probably too many bullets in the Hydra. I think you need to take out the size of the clip. I think there's too many rockets in there. But yeah, I don't really have any problems with the weapons other than the sniper rifle. We need to be able to YY. It's very hard to get you guys from 3v3 to understand what we're talking about because you guys are not even close to being competitive players. None of you guys are even good at the game. I'm sorry to say that, but none of you guys are good at the game. So it really it's hard for us to explain a lot of this stuff to you guys and why it doesn't belong and to get you guys to wrap your mind around it. But it takes skill to YY and to quickscope. It's an art form, just as quickscoping is an art form in Call of Duty, with wall banging, montages, all that stuff. So if you could just do that for us, that'd be awesome. Maybe change the way the sniper looks. We didn't like the way it looked in Halo 4. It looked like a goddamn refrigerator. So if you could... I really like the way it looked in Halo Reach. If you could make it the way it looked in Halo Reach, that'd be fantastic. You make it a little bit smaller, so it doesn't take up too much room on the screen. And that adds me to the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher, please change the way the rocket launcher looks. It looks like you stole it from Destiny. You even changed the way it reloads. I always like the way the rocket launcher reloads. You have it on your shoulder and you push out the empty cartridge and then you take a rocket, you load it in and you strap it back in. I like the way it reloaded, Maybe add that animation back in. Change the way it looks. It's a little too big. The angle on it on the screen is a little messed up. It takes up too much room on the screen, so if you could change that a little bit, that'd be awesome. Gameplay, the way the game plays. I've actually grown, not taking sprint and all this, armor abilities, into consideration. I actually like the way the guns shoot. I wasn't a fan of the battle rifle, but now that I play more, I've actually grown with it. I kind of like the sound that it makes when it shoots. I like the way it looks. You change the way it looks, kind of into a Call of Duty sense. But I had a problem with it first, but as I play more of the Halo 5 beta, I don't have a problem with it anymore. So I will say, as much as it hurts me to actually give you guys props, I will give you guys props on the weapons. You guys did a pretty good job on the weapons. I will say that, okay? So good job on that. We'll give you a couple of claps there, okay? The gameplay, other than, the armor, the Spartan abilities, it's okay. I'll give you one clap for the way that the battle rifle shoots and a couple other weapons. You didn't mess up too much there, okay? So you got one clap there. Ranks, I'll give you 3 claps there because the ranking system I think is fantastic. Mankey did a fantastic job. You did a fantastic job picking the right guy for the job. I love the way that the system is, but with that being said, there are some problems with it. Some people will win 15 out of 20 games and they'll be placed in gold tier, and then they'll go into another playlist and win only, I don't know, frick, somebody said they'll win less than that in another playlist, and they'll be placed into Onyx. So what I'm trying to say is it's a little bit flawed. I think you need to look into it, fine tune it a little bit more. Also with the ranks, it is a beta, so I'm not gonna complain too much about this. But when the game actually finally releases in November, or whenever you're gonna have it come out, make it so gold tiers match up with gold tiers. Onyx, semi-pro, pros with pros. You know what I'm saying? I've gone it by myself, and I matched up against a team of 4 pros, and we've gotten completely destroyed because they were in a party of 4. So make it so we match up. If we're all going in by ourselves, make it so we match up against people that are going in by themselves. Halo 3, if you could copy the way matchmaking worked in Halo 3, that'd be fantastic. Just go back, look at the way that it worked. When you went by yourself, you at the most would be matched up against a team of 2, which isn't that big of a deal. Team of 3s, they had them match up against team of 3s, and then you get a random player, and then team of 4s would match up against team of 4s. If you can make it that way, it'd be awesome. It is a beta, so it's not a big deal, but when the game finally comes out, it will be a big deal if this does not happen. So ranks, props there. A couple things you need to look at, just check it out. Now let's talk about the maps. Truth is an interesting version of Midship. I watched the sprint, and I will say that, after watching the sprint, you guys definitely thought about Truth a lot. You guys changed it quite a bit. I think if I didn't watch the sprint, I would be nagging you guys a lot more, but I respect how well you thought out the map Truth, and I listened to your reasoning behind, how you made it. So at the end of the day, I kind of like Truth. I like it the way it is, but obviously if you're taking out Sprint, you need to maybe change a couple things on the map. But for the most part, I like it. Empire. Empire is an interesting map. I kind of like it. I kind of like Empire. It kind of reminds me of Countdown. It kind of reminds me because it has an outside portion of it and an inside portion of it. It kind of reminds me of that, and I like Countdown, so I like Empire. I have nothing bad to say about it. I will say that it is a very balanced map with very different, interesting routes and high points of vantage, and I like it. Orion. I think Orion came out yesterday. Today's the 13th. I think it came out yesterday. I think you, Quindaho, you said that it was coming out yesterday on Twitter. I think I've seen a couple different videos about it, but obviously I'm not going to give a really good opinion on it until I play it later today. Pegasus, I played on it a couple times last night. It is an interesting Forge map. I think that it needs to be a little bit more well thought out. I think there's too much cover on the map. I find myself not getting into too many battles, and I'm a very aggressive player. I'm constantly using sprint and getting to places very quickly, and I'm having a hard time finding people. Someone shoots me, and then I look at him, and he's not there anymore. I shoot somebody, and then they back off. There's too many walls. Too many walls that are high up. If you can lower them a little bit, make it so the line of sight is a little bit better on that map, I think that map would be very good. So why 3v3 should remake Halo 5 and push it back? Now, after thinking more about it, no, don't remake Halo 5. Just tweak a couple things. If you take Sprint out, you just need to up the speed, the normal speed of the Spartan. That's all you need to do. That's what we've been saying since all this shit hit the fan. That's all you need to do, and it would be a fantastic game. Back in before Halo 2 was going to come out in 2004, fall, Bungie actually completely remade Halo 2 within 9 months, so you have about 10.5 months until release, so I would say you have enough time to make quite a bit of changes if you're actually going to listen to the community. Also, you can push it back until 2016. I know a lot of people, if you really, I think you need to really stop production on Halo 5 and have everybody focus on fixing MCC, because it really seems like you're doing trial and error. You're not really sure on what the problem was with MCC, and it really worries me that you don't know what the problem is and that it's taken this long to really fix MCC, and MCC is still broken pretty much. People are having long search times still. People are having their games crash. You're coming out with another update in a couple days, and I hope it's really going to fix stuff, but it also really pisses people off that you came out with an update to Halo 5 Guardians that was only about 150 megabytes, something like that, and you didn't come out with anything for MCC. It's also pissing people off, including myself, that you're not telling us the truth, and the truth is that you're waiting until Halo 5 Guardians beta ends before you actually come out with any sort of fixes to the MCC until you really focus on it. So if you guys would have just been truthful with us and said, "Hey, we're working on Halo 5 Guardians beta. After that's done, we'll come back to MCC and fix everything," I think a lot more people wouldn't be as upset. I know I wouldn't be as upset, and I would understand your logistics with that. But if you push it back until 2016 of spring, I think that would be fantastic. I know you want to come out with that game on November because Call of Duty is going to be coming out with the game around that time like they do every year to compete with them. But I promise you, if you wait until 2016 of spring, you will have a better standing against Call of Duty, whatever the next Call of Duty is going to be in 2016, because you're going to wait. You're going to have everything fine-tuned. You're going to have everything that the community told you to put in the game, and everybody's going to love it. And you're going to have so many people playing the game months, years down the road. And you should really look into keeping the way Halo has always been with a 3-year mark. Halo 1 came out in 2001, and then 3 years later in 2004, Halo 2 came out. 3 years later in 2007, Halo 3 came out. And then in 2010, 3 years later, Halo Reach came out. And then you kind of broke that with 2012, Halo 4 coming out, and then MCC came out 2014, so that's 2 years. So if you can make it 3 years, that'd be great. Just look at the past. That's all I'm saying. Look at the past. All the games that have sold, all the fantastic Halos that have sold, have been in a 3-year mark. And also looking at the past, all of the games that have had longevity, have had no armor abilities, no Spartan abilities, none of this crap. I promise you, if you just take everything out and just keep everything the same with the core, add new weapons, add new maps, graphics, maybe some unique things, not armor abilities, not Spartan abilities, just some unique things. Actually come out with your promise of Spartan abilities, and maybe a new unique ability that is on the lines of dual wielding and jacking vehicles, like you said. Let's see what else. Just keep going on with it, man. There's no reason for sprint. Halo 1 and Halo 2 and Halo 3 have sold millions of copies. Halo Reach should have, kept the same core gameplay, and Halo 5 needs to have the same core gameplay, and I promise you it will sell. If it doesn't sell, then yes, come out with sprint and all this crap, because yes, it is time for a change. If the core gameplay is the same and it doesn't sell millions like it did in Halo 1, 2, and 3, yes, there is something wrong. Something needs to change, but nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be fixed, because nothing is broken with Halo 1, 2, or 3. You need to listen to the community. You need to listen. Otherwise, your game is not going to be popular at all. I mean, MCC right now is about 4 ranks higher on the Xbox list than Halo 5 is, and that's kind of scary. It should be scary for you when you're looking at those facts. So you need to listen to the community, what we're saying. Stick to the core gameplay from Halo 1 through 3, and I promise you, you will get the big bucks. You will get props. The community will love you. Fix MCC. Everything will be golden. You just got to listen to us. We know what we're talking about. We've been around longer than you guys. So please just listen to us. And, that's all I need to say about this. I hope I don't need to come out with another one of these ranting videos, because I hope that you guys will listen. Go to teambeyond.net, go to the forums, look at everything there. Go to Halo Waypoint, go to your own website, look what everybody's saying. You'll notice that the majority of people don't want sprint, don't want any of the stuff that I'm talking about. Go to NeoGAF, go on Twitter, listen to what the pros are saying. You're pissing off T-Squared. I think Ogre 2 is a little frustrated. You're pissing off Assault, Lethal. Pros are moving over to Call of Duty. It's not looking good for you guys. Please start listening. That's all I have to say. This video is probably an hour long, but I needed to say all this stuff. So hope you guys really listen to what I have to say. Hope you found it informative and everything. And have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.